Webcasting around the world from the desert metropolis of Phoenix, Arizona, this is The Dividing Line. The Apostle Peter commanded Christians to be ready to give a defense for the hope that is within us, yet to give that answer with gentleness and reverence. Our host is Dr. James White, Director of Alpha and Omega Ministries and an elder at the Phoenix Reformed Baptist Church. This is a live program, and we invite your participation. If you'd like to talk with Dr. White, call now at 602-973-4602, or toll free across the United States, it's 1-877-753-3341. And now, with today's topic, here is James White.
And good morning. Welcome to The Dividing Line. On a Tuesday, we begin our marathon week. Today, 2 hours of webcasting today, 2 hours tomorrow, and 90 minutes on Thursday. That does not include the presentations I'm doing at the Arabic Baptist Church Friday night and Saturday morning, nor the 5 times I spoke this past weekend. So we are in the middle of 14 times speaking in 8 days, and so that keeps us nice and busy. Today, we have the regular program right now that you're listening to, and then we're going to continue the feed and just simply keep it going for an hour. I guess I'll just keep my iPod running or something like that, give you something to listen to. And then 1 hour after this program, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be webcasting as well, and you'll be able to catch online, or if you listen to the Truth Radio Network, if you have an affiliate in your area, you will be able to listen to my debate with Michael Brown on Calvinism, and that will be on his radio program today and tomorrow. That is only an hour each time, and there are station breaks, so that might be about 43 minutes or so each time. But we're going to be having Dr. Brown on The Dividing Line in the not-too-distant future. I'm not sure if that'll be before I go to London or afterwards. It all depends. We've got a lot of traveling coming up, so we'll see whatever his schedule allows. And on the program here, since we don't have the network breaks and things like that, we're not up against what are called hard breaks. We'll be able to do, I think, a little bit more in the way of in-depth exegesis of some of the key texts. I would imagine the programs today and tomorrow will be a little bit more on the general side of things, and then go into a little more depth here on The Dividing Line. But hopefully we'll end up with some new folks listening in through that as well here on the program. Today, then don't forget, Thursday for the program, the 90-minute debate with Tim Staples on 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verses 10 through 14 or beyond that if we want context, whatever. 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and the subject of purgatory. Mr. Staples believes it is the clearest text on purgatory in the Bible, and so we will be addressing that particular issue in a debate format on Thursday afternoon. So I hope you will join with us at that time. I'm very much looking forward to that particular discussion as well. Today, I wanted to start with a Tim Staples quote and then go back to the Anthony Buzzard debate. But James Swan has been sending me a number of clips. You look cold out there, Rich. You need to go find a jacket or something because you... See, this is my side of the office. The studios are controlled by the air conditioning in my part of the office, which means by sometime in November, the air conditioning had to, it stopped running because it finally cooled off. And I have never switched it over to heat. I just don't. So poor Rich has a short-sleeved shirt on today, and I have a sweater on. So he's come back a little more thermally prepared to spend a little time on this side of the offices.
That's why we call him Mr. Freeze.
When I travel, I somewhat feel sorry for particular hotels when I travel, because when I get into my room, I crank that thing as low as it can go, and it just runs the whole time I'm there. And if it can't get it down to about 65 in there, I'm really gonna be upset. And I've been in plenty of places where it couldn't, but a few places where it did, and that was very enjoyable. Anyway, I wanted to play a clip from Tim Staples. James Swan sent it to me. And I need to drag this tape back out if I can find it somewhere. It's probably in one of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tape boxes in the stacked up over here in the office. That would be something, for a really bored volunteer to do, would be to MP3 all these tapes and catalog them, because there's some interesting stuff in there. There really is some stuff I wish I had in my sound files. But I need to drag out the presentation that Jerry Matitix did on Mary that I listened to years and years ago, 93, 94, somewhere around in there. And you can hear part of it in the debate that I did with him in 95 or 96, whichever one it was, on the subject of Mary, because I went through his claims about episkiadzo, and see, if we look at Luke chapter 1, and the Holy Spirit overshadows Mary, and then we find the same thing in regards to the Ark of the Covenant. It was this Ark of the Covenant stuff, and episkiadzo, which means to overshadow. By the way, it's the very same term used in the Mount of Transfiguration story in, I think it's Luke. Is it Luke's version? I think it's Luke. Where he talks about the cloud overshadowing Jesus and Peter and the others on the Mount of Transfiguration. And it simply means to overshadow. It can have different meanings. Well, remember, Jerry Matitix went into how this is the same term that's used in the Greek Septuagint of the glory overshadowing the ark and all the rest of this stuff, and he wasn't actually right about that. But there was the connection that was being made. Well, in this next clip, we're going to hear clear evidence that, once again, in Roman Catholicism, anything found in the Bible can be attached to Mary as long as it promotes Marianism. It doesn't matter that you cannot even begin to demonstrate that the authors had any of this in mind, or that anyone for hundreds of years had any of this in mind. It just doesn't matter, because what the Bible actually says isn't really the issue. It's what the church teaches. And I have been listening, when I was up in San Francisco, they have a EWTN, a Immaculate Heart station up there like we have in Phoenix now, which you can't really hear at night very well, but you can only hear it during the day. And so I listened while I was driving around my rental car to the stuff up there. One thing I did want to mention, the vast majority of the time, it's women teaching on there, not men. It's women. And I think in the vast majority of the time, it is converts, which is really interesting when you really think about it. I think it says something